software, and that is for now the software that you use to store patient information for panoramics and 3D images. However, you can use your Eaglesoft, is it?
Yes.
You can use your Eaglesoft. There is a bridge that can be created that you open your patient in Eaglesoft. You click on a little icon here. It opens the Prof. SUNY with the patient's name already up and running.
Okay.
And then and panoramic images, they're 2D. They're just like intraoral X-rays, but the 3D image is a totally different animal in itself.
Right.
It's a data set of hundreds of files, which create the 3D image. Then
Okay.
that cannot be stored or manipulated through Eaglesoft. But when if Eaglesoft can manipulate Prof. SUNY can manipulate the rest of the software.
Okay.
So basically, the first thing, of course, when you open it, when you guys when all is said and done, you'll open Prof. SUNY through Eaglesoft, and you'll see then the patient's name will be up here in the corner, indicating that the patient is open. Until that bridge is created, open patient. By the way, all these icons are configurable. So if you don't like some icons, you can remove them. If you want different icons, they can be created. So you can customize the icons. And everything that is in the menu bar on the top can be created as an icon on the bottom. There's always a couple of different ways, like for example, opening a patient, there's an icon for open patient and add patient. Also from the patient menu, you can do add patient or open patient, etc., etc. So first thing first, it doesn't let you do anything until you open a patient. John is the default patient, which it just has previous test images and whatnot. So right now he'd be the only patient. I click open, and you can see up at the top, John is open, indicating that okay, you got a patient open. Add a patient. We're just going to do a test just for today. But it's very straightforward. You don't need to enter Social Security unless you want to. If the Social Security is entered in Eaglesoft and you wish it, it can be transferred here. ID number advances automatically. You don't need to worry about it. Date of birth is always important, but again, all this information in theory should be filled out for all patients that are open through Eaglesoft. But so this is just a little bit repetitive, but only so that you can be functional. Be functional until everything is done.
Okay.
Okay, so and now we add it, and so now test patient is open. We're good to go. Here's an icon, it says 3D, SUNY 3D. That's the one you want to press to activate the machine. And that is the SUNY 3D GUI or the capture interface for both panoramic or the dental CT. The box here, it's got three main sections. The main one that you can look for messages is this box here that will always indicate what it's looking for, what it wants to do next. The mode selections are here. You have the standard panel, which is usually, well, I guess I checked. Let me slow down. Standard panel is the one you would use majority of the time under normal modes. You can also do a fast mode. Only difference is about 3.5 seconds.
Okay.
A little less radiation for the patient in the fast mode, but image quality suffers in the fast mode, so it's not quite as diagnostic.
Just keep it normal.
Keep it normal. You can do TMJs, open and closed. I don't know if you guys, if Doctor does anything with TMJs.
Yeah.
And this is etc. different ones. If you want to, the normal is a full, as you can see in the illustration here, that's the full panel. But if you want to only do, if you're only interested in one left or right or partial, why irradiate the patient completely? A lot of doctors, a lot of offices always want to have one complete panel of a new patient when they come in for record. But then if work is done exclusively on the left or the right side, you could just take the consequent ones. Cool. But again, totally up to the end user. So there's left and right, right and left, front right and left, front and sinus. And as you can see, the little illustration there indicates basically what this does. It just sets the machine so that it actually activates in that area instead of dental arch is not active, obviously, because as it indicates whether you have a narrow or a wide or a child, the arch itself. But obviously, it's not active when you're just doing partial or not the entire panoramic.
Okay.
Again, 99% of customers that I've dealt with, when they start taking panoramics, it's normal, and it's normal, and it's good to go.
Okay.
Okay, that's standard pano. There's the selections. Special pano adds a little bit more. As you can see, it goes into, instead of halves, it goes into quadrants. And they just have funny names for it. Molar clear, right or left is just the upper right side or the left side. You can see it kind of changes color. Cool. And then canal clear, that would take the lower, right or left. And then incisor, again, is it in the middle, or orthogonal, would just get the bite area instead of. So again, little smaller pieces, parts of areas that you can focus in on. But again, for as far as I've been seeing, you come and have a pano taken, standard pano, normal, and normal, and you're good to go. Okay. But so at least you're aware that there is a couple of different options, and you know, when somebody's got some free time, you can play with them and take some images of each other and see what the results are. So at least then you'll know.
Yeah.
And then finally on this side, obviously, then the last one is the dental CT, and I won't click on there yet. That changes the mode from panoramic mode to the 3D or the CT mode.
Okay.
Whether you're doing standard pano or CT, you'll have options to fine-tune whether it's a man, woman, or a child, hard, normal, or soft. The translation something got lost in the translation from Korean to English. Mainly, obviously, the man, woman, and child is pretty straightforward. As you click on them, the power settings, KVPs and AMAs change. If you have man, obviously heavier bone density, thicker skin, perhaps a little bit more power to get a good image. And then again with the child, the same thing. It lowers it. The hard, normal, and soft mode would indicate and meant to indicate bone density instead of a soft person or a normal. You're normal. Okay, come on down. We'll click you as normal. So in other words, if you have a really heavy-duty person, a man, which is, or it could be even a woman, but these get based on the age over here. Obviously, it does. It might know first name, last name, whether it's a man, woman, but the child or an adult, if the age is under 12, it automatically selects child when you start.
That's cool.
But in most cases, man or a woman, and in most cases, normal for both would be good. Or obviously, if somebody's much heavier set, and or you've taken an image with a little bit lower settings, you could increase it a little bit if you think image lacks diagnostic quality. And then, of course, both values are manually adjustable if and when needed, but hardly ever really needed. And again, it's customizable. If in a couple of months you notice that, hey, majority of my customers are normal women, but the image quality could be a little bit different, these values come in a file, and they can be manipulated, they can be changed, so that we could say that, okay, we want woman and normal to be 74 and 10 because the image quality is a little bit better. We can make it so that you don't have to always make a manual change, even though that you already have the presets. For testing purposes, and we don't have any real humans there, and we won't for a while for testing, I tend to always lower scatter radiation. It's accumulative. You get a little bit here, you get a little bit there. We got somebody who's pregnant, you know. So I just by habit lower it quite a bit lower than that.